The student claims his teacher slapped him across the face in front of his entire class. You can take a picture, video, almost anywhere. Central Valley's infamous car thieves are hitting dealerships around the valley, stealing new cars right off the lots. 2 cars going down City Street over 100 miles an hour, shots fired, and then all of a sudden they go airborne. I Googled that story earlier tonight. This is happening all over the country: Michigan, Oregon, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, everywhere. I'm thrilled it's happening here. So I saw the coach Sunday minding my own business. He's really tall. I was minding everybody's business.
All right.
Okay,
There you go.
fine. You went to the neighborhood. Did somebody see something? Also, microchipping your little pet, $30 to $20. It helps find them when they get lost.
Symmetrical.
Spell it.
S-Y, well, I looked it up. Spell check.
I know. I actually just looked up dictionary.com. I was afraid you were going to ask me. They want you to experience the outdoor element of it, not the fighting the crowd element. You can do that at the mall at Christmas, right? I'm Anna Laurel. Thank you for joining us. Fresno police say Xavier Christopher Hawkins brutally beat a little boy to death inside his Fresno apartment Sunday afternoon. Police say Hawkins also goes by Xavier Christopher Weeks. He now faces murder, physical, and sexual abuse charges relating to the murder of 2-year-old Cyree Bridges. KMPH News reporter Eric Rosales just returned from tonight's news conference. Eric, what's the latest?
She is cooperating with police. Anna?
Okay, so let me get this right, Eric. CPS, Child Protective Services, knocked on the door 6 times. Never could find anyone. The mother tells police she had no idea what they're accusing her live-in boyfriend of doing. She had no idea that was going on. You went to the neighborhood. Did somebody see something?
That's the thing. People didn't get involved.
Unbelievable. So sad. Well, Fresno County Child Protective Services Director, you saw us grill him on our newscast about why children fall through the cracks just 2 weeks ago. Well, tonight he tells KMPH News CPS's investigation into this baby's death should be done and released to the public next week. 2 men face attempted murder charges in Fresno County after a savage attack in the South Valley. Fresno County's sheriff deputies say it happened last Wednesday in Layton. They found a man unconscious in an alley and severely beaten. Investigators arrested Jonathan Barajas and Eric Cuevas in connection to the attack, but they say a 3rd man involved is still out there. They're looking for Ivan Dario Juarez. He's described as 5'11", about 185 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, and a tattoo of the initials IJ on his left calf. If you have any idea where he might be, you're asked to please call the Fresno County Sheriff's Office at 488-3111. Investigators say the man attacked is still in serious condition in the hospital. The student claims his teacher slapped him across the face in front of his entire class. Central Unified School District won't tell us anything, saying it's a confidential matter. But the student who says he was slapped and his mother, well, they are talking. In a story you'll only see on KMPH News, reporter Eric Rosales says it's a case that could eventually bring criminal charges. I know this is a very touchy situation because you've got school and minors and personnel issues, but were you able to find out any more about the student or the teacher just from, history before this?
Time that she's ever had to deal with a situation like this in the past 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Eric. Esteban's mom, Penelope, says she expects a call from the sheriff's department by next week. She says deputies told her they'll speak with the other 19 students in Esteban's class. 2 men accused of stealing copper wire all over Madera County for weeks are now behind bars, but they took deputies on a wild ride just to catch them. A Madera County deputy spotted the bad guys on a rural road in the Parksdale area, about 30 miles north of Fresno. Deputies chased the car through hay fields and vineyards until the bad guys crashed near a canal. At some point, a deputy hit this washout and went airborne. Check out how far he went before he landed. Other deputies saw the bad guys cut through a vineyard, then crash near the canal.
The chase was on. None of the deputies spun out. None of the deputies crashed. Had it not been for the washout, and even the washout, there was no cosmetic damage to the vehicle. Adam just basically stopped and that was it. He wasn't moving anymore. And I guess it's a testament to his driving abilities.
After a 30-minute chase, deputies arrested Stephen Lovelady and Anthony Rodriguez. They're facing charges for stealing copper wire and leading deputies on today's chase. 3 more Clovis massage shops are closed tonight, busted for selling more than a massage to customers. The Oriental Wellness Garden and China Massage were both in Old Town Clovis, and the Lana Thai Spa on Shaw Avenue is at Sierra Vista Mall. Investigators say they went in because of complaints of prostitution was going on, and it was. Officers arrested Wang Ying of Clovis, Janelle Hoover of Corcoran, and Xia Feng Li. They're all in jail on prostitution charges. This story is about a beautiful baby girl, a girl just like this little girl. By the time she's 2.5, Fresno County's Department of Children and Family Services has a case file with her name on it. CFS workers say her drug-addicted mother refused to get clean.
The mother said, "I just can't take care of the kids anymore. They're going to have to be put with somebody."
The mom suggested Bertha Gonzalez.
Bertha, however, was not qualified by law because she had had previous child abuse problems.
According to this lawsuit filed in federal court, Gonzalez had a long history with Child Protective Services, allegations of abuse, violence, and neglect. And Fresno County DSS keeps track.
We have a referral history.
And so if they're on that, what?
Well, we actually not only have a referral history here, we have a referral history statewide. So if they're in the system, meaning anywhere in the state, and there's been referrals, we pull that referral history up. So we know that if things have happened in Madera County, LA County, and we have the ability to make that contact and ask further questions.
The lawsuit claims Bertha's history should have prevented Fresno County from putting any child in her care.
Any allegations of any kind of domestic violence or other child abuse, proven or unproven, it adds weight to the kind of decisions that we're making.
But according to court documents, county workers helped the little girl's mother and Bertha beat the system.
And all these facts were pretty much spelled out in the actual records. I think you could say it's out of bounds.
Barely 3 years old, and Fresno County Children and Family Services places her in Bertha's home and closes her case file.
6 weeks later, the little girl shows up at the hospital late at night with a broken leg, allegedly due to taking a shower.
Court documents say there were bruises all over her body. Her hair had been pulled out. There were small red burns all over her head. And x-rays showed an old broken bone in her foot that was never treated but healed on its own. The little girl ended up in one of these emergency rooms, and as bad as it was, she was actually safe here. According to court documents, there was a police officer, hospital staff, and a county CPS worker. But also, these court documents show that that CPS worker never mentioned Bertha's violent history. Later, the police officer told the court if he had known about Bertha Gonzalez, he never would have let that little girl leave here, her safe place. Looks like a typical Fresno neighborhood and a typical Fresno house. This is where the 3-year-old little girl lived with Bertha. Just 6 months after she left the ER with a broken leg, police were called out here. Her injuries were so bad that day that 7 years later, her adopted family doesn't want us to tell you about them because her scars would identify her. Horrible. Detective Anna Carrillo specializes in child abuse cases and still remembers what she saw in this house.
I remember a lot of the more severe cases.
The first officers on the scene called Carrillo in.
They were just pretty upset when I got there.
The 911 caller inside the house thought the little girl was dead.
When the police went into the house as a report of an injury, one of the officers came out and got violently ill.
The little girl survived, but her scars from that day and the years before may never completely heal.
The terribly unfortunate part about it is you can't unwind a serious injury like that.
In 2006, Bertha Gonzalez was sentenced to 8 years in the Chowchilla Women's Prison for what she did that day. Steve Cornwell sued Fresno County's Child and Family Services and the social workers involved. Just recently, the county settled out of court.
They have no defense in this case. This case was handled wrong, and they had to have known it.